In the small village of Akwa, nestled in the heart of the dense African forest, a young man named Yuzo lived a simple life. Known for his skill as a hunter, Yuzo provided for his family and community with a sense of pride and duty. His days were filled with the rhythm of the forest, the thrill of the hunt, and the warmth of his family's love. But beneath the surface of this idyllic life, a dark shadow was beginning to loom. One fateful day, while deep in the forest tracking a wounded antelope, Yuzo stumbled upon an ancient and forgotten shrine. It was covered in vines and moss, barely visible beneath the dense undergrowth. As he approached, a sudden chill ran down his spine, and the air grew thick with an ominous energy. Ignoring the warning signs, Yuzo knelt before the shrine, curious about its origins. He whispered a prayer for good fortune and touched the ancient stones. That night, as Yuzo lay in his hut, he was tormented by vivid and horrifying dreams. Visions of spirits, twisted and grotesque, danced around him, whispering in tongues he couldn't understand. He woke in a cold sweat, his heart pounding in his chest. But the nightmare was far from over. In the days that followed, Yuzo began to experience excruciating pains in his abdomen. At first, he dismissed them as mere stomach cramps, a consequence of his grueling hunts. But as the pain intensified and his stomach began to swell, fear gripped him. The villagers, too, noticed his growing distress and the unnatural changes in his body. Whispers of a curse spread like wildfire through Akwa. Yuzo's once supportive community turned their backs on him. Children ran away in fear, and adults avoided him as if he carried a deadly plague. Even his own family, unable to comprehend the bizarre transformation, kept their distance. Yuzo's isolation grew, and he found solace only in the dense forest, the one place where he felt a semblance of peace. The village elders, desperate to understand the strange occurrences, sought the help of spiritual leaders from neighboring communities. They conducted rituals and consulted ancient texts, but none could provide a clear answer. It was then that an old shaman, revered for his wisdom and connection to the spirit world, arrived in Akwa. The shaman, with eyes clouded by age but sharp with insight, examined Yuzo closely. He chanted incantations and invoked the spirits, seeking guidance. Finally, he revealed the shocking truth. Yuzo was indeed carrying a child, but it was no ordinary pregnancy. The child growing within him was a spirit, the offspring of his ancestors and the powerful forest spirits. Yuzo had become a vessel for their supernatural progeny. The revelation brought no comfort. Instead, it deepened the fear and confusion. The villagers believed that Yuzo's condition was a sign of impending doom, a sign of great suffering. The shaman warned that the spirit child, if not properly appeased, could bring ruin upon the entire village. As Yuzo's condition worsened, he became a prisoner of his own body. The pains were relentless, and he could feel the kicks of the unborn spirit child with growing intensity. Night after night, the nightmares returned, each more terrifying than the last. The forest, once his sanctuary, now seemed alive with malevolent forces watching his every move. Desperation gnawed at Yuzo's soul. He wandered deeper into the forest, seeking answers, seeking a way to end his torment. It was during one of these solitary journeys that he encountered a mysterious figure cloaked in darkness. The figure, with eyes that glowed like embers, spoke in a voice that seemed to echo from another realm. "You have been chosen, Yuzo," the figure said. "Chosen to bear the child of the spirits. But your suffering is not in vain. There is a way to end this curse, to bring peace to your soul and your village." Yuzo, his voice trembling with desperation, asked, "How? How can I rid myself of this burden?" The figure smiled, a cruel and knowing smile. You must journey to the heart of the forest, to the place where the spirits dwell. There, you will find the answers you seek. But beware, for the path is fraught with danger, and the spirits do not relinquish their hold easily. With these cryptic words, the figure vanished into the shadows, leaving Yuzo alone with his thoughts and fears. The journey ahead was a difficult one, but it was his only hope. Clutching his swollen abdomen, Yuzo steeled himself for the unknown. The forest awaited, and with it, the secrets that would determine his fate. Determined to find a way to end his suffering, Yuzo set out at dawn, the first rays of sunlight piercing through the thick canopy of the forest. His steps were heavy with the weight of uncertainty, but he pressed on, guided by the mysterious figure's words and the desperate need for answers. As Yuzo ventured deeper into the forest, the familiar landscape began to change. The trees grew taller and denser, their twisted branches forming an almost impenetrable barrier. The air grew colder, and an eerie silence enveloped him, broken only by the occasional rustle of leaves and distant animal cries. Each step felt like a journey into another world, a world where the boundaries between reality and the supernatural blurred. Days turned into weeks as Yuzo navigated the labyrinthine forest. His body, already weakened by the unnatural pregnancy, grew more fragile. The spirit child's movements became more violent, each kick a reminder of the malevolent force growing within him. Hunger and exhaustion gnawed at him, but he pressed on, driven by a glimmer of hope and the fear of what would happen if he failed. One night, as Yuzo rested by a small fire, he was jolted awake by a blood-curdling scream. He sprang to his feet, heart pounding, and scanned the darkness for the source of the sound. His eyes widened in horror as he saw ghostly figures emerging from the shadows, their faces twisted in agony. They circled him, their mournful wails filling the air. "Why do you torment me?" Yuzo cried out, his voice echoing through the forest. "What do you want from me?" he asked in tears.